Yay, I did it. I got the platinum trophy in D&D Dark Alliance. Hooray. And now it's time to delete. So, the Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance Platinum Trophy. That's what we're here to talk about today. Yeah, put a little bit of pressure on myself to do this one because the game is unfortunately being shut down, which means 4 trophies are going to be unobtainable. Pretty much sucks. It's never good when this happens. What sucks more as well is if you know the history of the game, they did advertise local co-op as like a patch, but it never came. It also doesn't have cross-gen play, so PS4 and PS5 users can't play with each other, which means the pool of players is already small to begin with. And yeah, let's just get talking about it. So let's start with the 4 online trophies just quickly. They're not actually that bad if you can get the squad. 3 of them are quite easy. One of them is, I would say, only hard because you need a full squad, and finding that full squad it's quite difficult. Luckily, no flex on my end right here. I've got 3 PS5s. One's mine, one's my son's, one's my daughter's, you know, so it's not exactly like they're all mine. So I already had, I guess you could say, 3 players from the get-go, and then I had a good friend help me out as well as the 4th slot. The trophy in particular we're talking about is for clearing a difficulty 3 mission, which is not hard at all, with a full squad. Now, if the game let you use duplicate characters, let's say like a full team of Catti-bries for example's sake, or like a full team of Brunos or whatever, it would be fine, but you have to use, like, the whole squad has to compile of each individual character. Yeah, so it's kind of annoying because I'm gonna be really real from the get-go here. Every character in the game is trash except for Catti-brie. She is the best character in the game by far. Her damage output is ridiculous, her survivability is ridiculous, and there's no character that can even compare to that. So where do I kind of gauge this? When I started the game, I chose her. I didn't even do any research. I just chose her because I was like, oh, she looks kind of cool. And her playstyle suits my kind of style, I guess you could say. Whatever that means.
I see. No, I don't.
Okay.
So I started on difficulty 4 with Catti-brie, and I thought to myself, it's not that bad. And then I switched over to, I think I picked Bruno. I tried to do the first mission on difficulty 6 with Bruno, and I just could not do it to save my life. And this is coming from someone who is quite experienced with the Souls genre, and I get the feeling as well that this game did take a lot of inspiration from the Souls games, because if you see the way the bosses fight, and this is what annoys me as well, is that if you're going to take inspiration from the Souls games, execution is everything. The bosses are so badly designed in this game. Let me like try and explain this properly, right? So in most Souls games that are adequately and optimally, you know, developed, there are gaps in between boss patterns where you can, you know, squeeze your attacks in and get out. This is like the bread and butter of a Souls game, yeah? This game tries to do that, but does it in the most piss poor manner I've ever seen. I can't remember the boss's name. I think it might be Stygian, and it's the electric variant. This guy non-stops attacks, and the gap is like, I'm talking maybe a second or 2, and you've got entire combo strings you cannot execute. So it's like, what's the point of giving me these combo strings if you're not going to let me fight? And the little time you do get in, you do like the most insignificant little chip damage. So it'll be the most boring boss battle with no variance. It's the same pattern over and over and over again. Getting in for the quick 1 to 2 seconds, doing like this much flipping damage, backing up, and then just repeat. And that was the boss fights with all the close range fighters. And that's why I say Catti-brie is the best character in the game. You won't have that experience with her. They're trying to close the distance. They're trying to do shit to her, but you're just like, don't care. And this is what's funny as well about Catti-brie. You'd think, okay, let me shoot them, right? Let me fire my arrows into them. No, that's not how you play Catti-brie. You charge the shot and you shoot at the floor, and there's this massive AoE that just dominates their health bar.
Shinra Tensei.
Which is kind of polarizing, I'm not gonna lie, but whatever. that's what we roll with. It works, that's what we do. I just realized how much of a, oh my god, perception wise this is going to probably sound like I'm a Catti-brie stan. I want to point out I know absolutely nothing about D&D lore. So I know about D&D, but in terms of like story and characters and stuff like that, I guess you could say this is my entry point to, you know, getting to know characters like Catti-brie, Driz, you know, blah 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 blah. So yeah, gushing session over, let's keep it moving. So got through the campaign, and then I had to kill variants of each enemy. I think they're called elite types, I think. And I got most of them naturally, I guess, because I was playing on the hardest difficulty from the get-go. So I pretty much stumbled into every elite variant. One of them bugged out on me, which is the one for defeating all of the big variants. Again, I don't know if I pronounced that right. It's the big, you know, troll-looking dudes that sound very Cockney British, might I add. So
No good at fucking French.
Who the fuck speaks French?
Do you think I'm gonna have that off you, my son?
I'm naughty.
I'm proper naughty. I'm a geezer, ain't I?
Shut up,
Shut up.
mug.
you know, representing right there. Their dialogue was cool. But yeah, so this one bugged out of me horrendously. So I was following this checklist, and that's another thing as well. The information on this game is quite scarce, so there'll be times where if something doesn't pop when it's supposed to, you'll look at it and be like, do I have all the information, or is there gaps here that I don't know about? And I was just going through the same missions, just defeating every single Verbig that, you know, was posted online on, I believe it was trueachievements.com. I don't know what it is, but every time you need help and it's not in a trophy guide, if you're following a trophy guide and you're hunting trophies, I tend to find better information on True Achievements. It's a bit weird, but regardless, the entire list was 100% accurate, but the problem was one of them wasn't tracking for me. And I know this because the boss, the chef, I think his name is, I had killed this fucker about 7 times, and I just kept going through the same motions of just beating the Verbig, just hoping, you know, and praying that it would pop. And then oh my god, I swear to god, it was like I beat him about 10 times and then finally it popped, and I sat there at like 2 a.m. in the morning because I was putting in the work, you know, because it's shutting down, right? And I'm like, I have killed you like 10 times. Why the hell has it now just popped on you? Like, oh god. So yeah, that one's out of the way now. All the elite variants were done. That was the only one that gave me problems though. Next up was just a bunch of miscellaneous trophies, and I'll be honest with you, a good 90% of these came naturally to me. Things like, you know, blocking 150 times, stuff like that. And again, they genuinely have no impact on my memory because I don't remember any of them. I just know that they popped when they were supposed to pop. And yeah, that's all I've really got to say on the miscellaneous trophies. No impact whatsoever. Oh no, tell a lie, there was actually one interesting miscellaneous trophy, which was for doing a certain difficulty without dying. I think it was difficulty 4 if I'm not mistaken. Again, I thought that was going to be hard, but again, run it up with Catti-brie and we're all good, man. We are all good. Very, very easy miscellaneous trophy. Next up was the lore. The lore was annoying because most of it is actually in plain sight. It's not the worst collectibles I've ever come across in my achievement and trophy hunting endeavors, but the reason why there is nothing worse to me than when you compile a guide and the information isn't correct or you're missing something, when we're coming from the perspective of collectibles. So I followed a guide, and it was a video guide, and I got to the end and I was like, where's my trophy? I followed this guy to a T. And what makes this even worse as well is that this game tracks the ability points, which count as collectibles, I think. When you go onto the map, at first they'll be grayed out, and then once you've picked up the ability point on that specific level, it would fill in like with a bluey kind of color, which is a great indicator of you know, getting a collectible. The other side of the lore though, things like text collectibles, or I think paintings or whatever you call them, there was no way of tracking them. No way, right? You had a menu where you could go in and see which ones you've acquired, but it was no way of looking if there was missables in that stage. So luckily, again, more information on True Achievements. There was a guide where someone had posted their entire list, and so I had to go through my entire list, cross-reference it with the list on True Achievements to the ones that they had to the ones that I didn't have, and it turns out I was missing 2. And just to double check, right, because it gets, you know, gets a bit arduous and cumbersome sometimes doing these collectibles and following these guides. Went back to the videos, to the associated stages just to see if I was tripping or not, and no, I wasn't. They weren't in the video. So 2 collectibles, had to go back and get them. Wasn't long, but just annoying, you know, because you're trying to get it out of the way. And yeah, and now we get to the most boring grindy bit of the flipping platinum trophy. You have to get everyone to level 20. You have to learn all their moves and all their feats. To get all their feats, you have to get to level 20, right? Now, I wouldn't mind if you could adequately use these characters on a harder difficulty, but as you know, I've been moaning for the past God knows how long, these characters are terrible on this difficulty. So again, there's an exploit where you go to the beholder, Haggadorn, and you just fall off the edge and you just lap up a quick 1490 XP. Thank God, because this is what I did. I was boosting between 2 consoles. I say boosting. Is that considered boosting? I don't know. I just had my second profile, my alt account, using a mega OP Catti-brie. Back to Catti-brie, right? My alt account Catti-brie was so much better than my base account Catti-brie. The reason for this is because the alt account Catti-brie was essentially carrying all of my characters. So every time we'd finish the Haggadorn run, I was essentially just getting constant legendary gear. The really annoying thing about the Haggadorn exploit though, and you know, I shouldn't complain because it could be worse, like going through every single mission again with the characters, which I really didn't want to do. I only did half with Bruno before I just packed it in and said, you know what, I'm done. Is there any way of speeding up the XP? Done some research, found the Haggadorn glitch, invested, turned on my second console, created an auto account, made a second Catti-brie, pimped her up like to no end, and she carried me and all my characters. Now, one thing I want to point out about the Haggadorn exploit as well is that it is weirdly finicky. So characters like Bruno Orala and Catti-brie herself, I don't know why, but it was very difficult to get Haggadorn to continue his lunge into his, you know, pit of demise. But the other 2 characters, Driz and Wolfgar, whatever his name is, right?
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
They were easy. I could 100% guarantee getting knocked off. So when it came to those 2, they were really easy to just consistently do the glitch exploit thing. And yeah, that is basically the extent of my, I guess you could say, Dragon Age.
NANI?
Bloody hell, we're getting ahead of ourselves, aren't we? I ain't even fucking started that yet. Dragon Age, what are we doing, bruv? Sorry, D&D, Dark Alliance, that's what we're talking about. Oh man, I think it's because I was watching some Valguard footage earlier, and yeah, it's kind of recently imprinted into my head. But yeah, that is the platinum finalized. Anyway, that's pretty much the finalization to the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll upload another one of these when I get another plat. I've got a few plats I do want to talk about that I've done from tail end of 2024, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Cool, peace. Sorry, I'm back again. Just a quick little thing I need to squeeze in, and that is, do I recommend the game? I totally forgot this section. It's because I'm winging it. I've got no script, right? So, do I recommend the game? Right now, I would only recommend it if you genuinely have people that are consistent and they're going to go for the platinum, much like you. To be honest, if you can get a full squad to do the Haggadorn glitch, you will breeze through this game. And if you can just get a Catti-brie user, a dedicated Catti-brie user, again, you're going to breeze through the game. So if you do want to try and squeeze it in before the shutdown date, which is the 24th of February, by all means, go for it. I found it more enjoyable when I was playing with a friend. The initial solo playthrough, though, I did enjoy it. Again, controversial take, I know. Yeah, it's not that bad. I don't recommend it, though, if you are, you know, alone and you're going to struggle to find someone to play with, because you do need people to get the 4 online trophies. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Also, if you don't enjoy mindless grinding, because the tail end of the platinum, I was doing it by myself between 2 consoles, so obviously it took me a bit longer. I imagine it would be quicker if you had more people doing it all together. Like if you could get a dedicated Driss or Wolfgar, you could probably just easily do the Haggadorn glitch to get every character to level 20. But yeah, I'm basing this all off of if you actually got people to do it with. If you haven't, if you are going to struggle to find people, I don't recommend it, because the date right now is the 22nd of January. And what's that? That's a little over a month that you have left to do. That's quite tight, man. That's quite tight. I will say about 70% of the trophies, heck, maybe even 80% of the trophies off the top of my head will come to you quite naturally. But yeah, the last like stretch is a bit of a grind. It's not fun. It really isn't fun. And yes, that is the final section. Continue with the outro. Peace.